People of the Purple Butterfly here. P+7 on Twitter and YouTube. People elsewhere on the internet. And my blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And I want to talk to you about making sure you have enough leeway when you're working on your miniatures. Like this is the end string of one side, but this is the ending string of the other. I managed to get 3 stitches in there. And then, of course, this is all that's left of the yarn. The main issue I had when I seen how short I accidentally cut that thread was to make sure that I didn't end up starting right at the flush end where a knot would be seen. So I managed to get 3 stitches down, and now I'm going to add a new piece of thread. I could do that 2 ways. I could literally use a loop stitch and just start with the new thread, or I could tie a knot in the thread that's here very close, so it's actually the same width as a stitch, and then trim very carefully, which is the option I'm taking this time. The reason you don't want the knot right there is when the work is reversed, it'll show through on your finished project. So we don't want to do that. It would actually be better to start with new thread as if there was never a loose piece of thread that wasn't long enough, and then use a standard weave-in technique to hide the, original thread than it would be to, have a string that's too short at the beginning of the work. In the meantime, I'm taking this, see there's the new thread and the old thread, and I'm winding it around the needle as if it was a single thread, so that way when I make the lock stitch, it locks in both pieces. So that way, when I do run out of the old thread, the new thread takes over and it becomes invisible to the work, like that. So then, when it does become a single piece, or if you have a, shall we say, surveyor type person that's looking at your work, with that magnifying glass type thing that they brain act like, they can't tell where you started and where you finished. And that's usually what you want when you're making something of good quality, is no one being able to tell where you started and where you finished. That's usually my goal when I'm making something full scale, like the sweater I'm wearing. When I knitted this and it was time to do the sleeves, I picked up the stitches from the underside, so that way from the over, it looks basically like 2 purl stitches just up and got married. It does not look like a seam. On the inside, it looks like someone just crocheted across, but that's the way I picked up the stitches. So I always look for those kind of details and extra attention to detail when I go shopping for fine knits. So therefore, when I create fine knits, I follow the same standard. Now, granted, it is a self-imposed standard, but it keeps me honest. I don't rush through my work, and then if I decide to sell it, I'm selling something of poor quality and shoddy material. No, that's not going to happen. If someone was to buy this from me tomorrow, they would look at it and have to double check to see if a machine made it, because I'm going to put it out at a quality level that's just that good. It's not going to be something where someone has to second guess if a machine did it. So then when you look at the seam, where's the knot? There isn't one. See that? And then when you look at this side, you can't tell either. And that's the point.